Okay, today this is a video in regards to a Whirlpool Duet dryer that continuously blows the thermal fuse. The thermal fuse is this little white fuse right here, the white one next to the thermistor. This has blown the fuse about 3 times, so I'm looking to diagnose it today, and I know it's a common thread on the internet. So basically what's been happening is I found that when you put it on the air only setting, when you put it on air only, so there should be no heat coming out, it still heats. So the threads on the internet tell you to check the heating element, because the heating element could be shorted to the outer casing, and that could be sending 110 volts. But I put continuity on that, and it wasn't the case. So what I did was I took a look at the circuit board. I found that this relay here on the board has continuity at all times, which then sends 110 volts down to the element even when the dryer is off but basically just plugged in. So the reason why that fuse is blowing is because it is actually getting warm in there. Just the element doesn't get bright orange, but it has 110 volts flowing to it, so it is getting warm, and that residual heat is a fire hazard on top of the fact that it does blow that thermal fuse, and that's why that thermal fuse is in there as a protector. So basically I'm going to take a look and see what's going on with this and try to replace that relay. When I pulled the board out, visually there isn't any damage. I was expecting maybe some smoke or something on the back. You can see on that terminal there, it does actually appear that there is some heat coming on there, but either way I know the relay is bad, so I'm going to go ahead and see how I can replace that. So according to my board, that is in Omron. I'll type these numbers into eBay and see if I can get a relay. I've had mixed results doing this before. Better than 50-50, maybe 75-25. I've had success. Remove the relay, put a new relay on the board, and everything goes smoothly without having to spend money on an expensive board, because it is just that one part that's failed. Okay, so my new relay arrived. Here's that. As I said, I got it off eBay. I think it was $6.50. So first thing I did was heat up the you can look at your new relay and see how many points of contact there are. I heated up those 4 pegs that were coming in through the board. I'm not going to show you how I solder, because I'm not very good at soldering. Actually, I'm just learning, but you know, you can probably watch some videos on YouTube to try to get a better idea how it works. I just kind of heated up the 4 terminals and started putting a screwdriver in, just gently prying it away so that those will slip out of the old solder. So this is the result. You just have, 4 holes here where you can put the new one into. I imagine I'll have to heat up this old solder again to slip it through, and then add some new solder to make sure the contacts are good. So I'll show you what that looks like when I finish. So here's the end result of that relay being put back onto the board. Like I said, I have no education in soldering whatsoever, so I'm not even going to bother showing you what the back side of my board looks like, but I did double check that the original problem is now gone. These 2 terminals were making constant contact, always having continuity, which it's a relay, it should open and close. So that is no longer an issue, and I double checked that even though I had some difficulties in soldering, you can actually use your meter and check from one point to another and make sure that the electricity is traveling through the path. If you have any issues with, say getting the relay connected there. So now I'm going to put it back together, and you'll see whether or not this worked. So I reassembled the machine. It's kind of snowing on and off where I'm at, so it's a little hard to show you, but you know, there's that control reassembled into the machine. It is on and running. I'll put the lid back on just to keep the snow out. Thus far, in there, it is heating. So that's on a time dry. So the original problem was that it was actually heating on the air dry. So I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to move it to an air dry. Or I guess you just select an air dry right here. So there's air only. Let's run it again and see if the heat is off now. I'm going to check in the back here and see what results we get. I do have some heat here now, but of course I was just running the elements, so it is cooling off. It does appear to be cooling. So I believe that relay is connecting and disconnecting as it should. I'm going to go around and take a look into the heat box again and make sure there's no heat in there now. Yeah, so as you can see on the air only now, it does shut it down. I'm going to go ahead and toggle back to a heat setting and start it up again. And go ahead and look at that heat box again and see that it is going to turn on the heating for us. I see the orange starts to come in there, so it looks like just changing that relay did the trick. So of course, if you had a blown fuse like I did, I blew about 3 fuses before I figured this out. So make sure you change that thermal fuse, which I showed you earlier in the video, and have a fresh one of those on there, and change that relay out. Like I said, I paid about $6.50 on eBay. Just punch the numbers in and hope that helps somebody out there.